started reading poetry in aSHEville in July at open mics, and I feel very welcome here. So I'm glad that I have you all as an audience, and I've gotten to hear wonderful poetry so far. That is very inspiring to me. The first poem I'm about to do, I wrote after my last reading. Someone had asked me, how do you write poetry? and I wrote this poem from the essence of the answer I gave to her. It's called, fittingly enough, How to Write a Poem. Slow down, slower, pay attention. Let your eyes shine a light into the darkest shadows of life. Be curious. Send your rabbit mind wandering down new trails. See infinite possibilities, and the words will rise. Slow tide called forth by the moon of your heart. And speaking of heart, I was lying in bed with the intent to take a nap. I swear, that was my full intent. But I found myself thinking of relationship status labels and how much I don't like thinking of myself as single. And I thought, there's got to be another way, you know. So I wrote this poem called, and I realized, you know, what if I'm not single? What if there's a gray area between being in a relationship and being single? What if you can be both? And what if you can be neither? And I just wanted the freedom to explore that. So I wrote this poem called, I am not dating anyone, but I am not single.
Amen.
Right now.
I am not dating anyone, but I am not single. I am in constant relationship with the ever-reaching trees, the cool sip of water, the lungful of fresh air, the earth spinning in its own dance. I am wooed by the soft clothes that adorn my body, the muscles leaping throughout it, the bones standing like quiet sentinels. I know love by the soft gasp of something divine every time I open my eyes to greet a new day. And speaking of new days, I felt like a new day for me had arrived when I decided to accept the offer of a tiara that someone was handing out before aSHEville Mardi Gras, right across the street. And the moment I put it on, I felt like I'd reawakened the connection to my inner child. I felt like a princess. So I wrote this poem called Birth of a Princess. I wore a tiara all day, crowned myself princess of joy, ruler of my own heart. I was asked if it was my birthday. I said no. In truth, today was the birth of my authentic self. Each time my soul breathed yes and yes and yes.
Yes.
And this poem wasn't originally supposed to be part of the lineup, but Laura found it somehow and emailed to me and said, "Is this your poem?" And I said yes, and I said I've been wanting to include it, but you know, I was worried about going over the time limit, and she said, just do it. This is a poem that has been a crowd favorite every time I read it, and it's the first poem that was published by me, and I wrote it almost I wrote it 4.5 years ago. I wrote it 5 years ago. So it's definitely stood the test of time. It means a lot to me. I wrote this about growing up and how sometimes I would say yes to doing something, but my body would say no. And the difficulty accepting that, and the journey in acknowledging my body for the gifts it's given me and accepting those gifts instead of turning them away. And so I wrote this poem about my left arm. It's called Ode to Left Arm. You were never the bad one, just misunderstood. Rebel against the tame stillness of a body beholden, conductor of a symphony to my vibrant energy. You bounce on invisible trampolines, I marvel at your beautiful wildness. A wing against my side, you flap free of regret, while my fist bangs my hip in search of the beat of a drum. You've always known there's music in me, even while I'm in pain. I'm sorry for the times I wished you were gone, closed hand, a sleeping flower, elegant fingers gently curled. They delight in their arch, beckon for the perfect fit. Your palm holds hundreds of pearls of sweat. Thank you for your caress, the forgiveness of a wild joy I criticized. Thank you for daring to love life passionately, even when it didn't love you back.